people rallied across the United States to protest the killing of 37-year-old Brene Good by an ICE officer in Minnesota earlier in the week. But on Saturday, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey urged demonstrators in his city to stay peaceful. The vast majority of people have protested peacefully, recognizing that I have seen community members sort of step into the breach, recognizing that there are others out there, agitators that are trying to rile up large crowds. This is what Donald Trump wants. He wants us to take the bait. According to the city's police chief, 29 people were arrested overnight in Minneapolis as police responded to protests. Bystander videos of Wednesday's shooting have further inflamed tensions between state and federal personnel, who have offered starkly different accounts of the tragedy. Minneapolis and Minnesota, what a beautiful place, but this being destroyed? Trump administration officials have defended the shooting as self-defense and accused Good, a mother of 3, of deliberately aiming her car at the officer in an act of domestic terrorism. Democratic lawmakers dispute that narrative. This administration continues to use Minnesota as a political stunt. House Democrat Angie Craig was one of 3 congresswomen who attempted to visit an ICE facility in Minneapolis on Saturday. It is our job as members of Congress to make sure that those folks detained are treated with humanity because we are the damn United States of America. Protest organizers said more than 1,000 weekend events have been planned across the country, demanding an end to large-scale deployments of ICE agents, mostly to cities led by Democratic politicians. And I think it's a violation of international law, and think it's a serious violation of international law and the rights of Latin American peoples in the world. You can say that's why we don't believe these are the right methods, and that's why we're here protesting, because they put us in the same category. Because in this supposed fight against drug trafficking, we would be vulnerable to this offensive from the North American government. Recent days, farmers are angry. The Mercosur deal is going through, and it's truly a scandal. We're bringing in products that don't meet the same standards we're required to follow. In Europe, farmers are forced to comply with strict regulations, yet imports are allowed that don't meet those standards? We find this outrageous, not only for fairness to farmers but also for consumer health, as these products are of poor quality. Syrian forces entering Sheikh Maksud, the last stronghold of Kurdish forces in Aleppo. Dozens of Kurdish fighters left Syria's second city on Saturday, security sources told Reuters, and civilians also streamed out of Sheikh Maksud on foot. But the army said it was still working to clear a remaining group of hardened fighters, after a ceasefire failed to end days of deadly clashes. Kurdish fighters from the Syrian Democratic Forces were still holed up in a hospital in Sheikh Maksud, security forces said. The SDF said it was locked in street battles against government forces on Saturday, accusing them of indiscriminately bombing civilian infrastructure, including the hospital, where civilians were taking cover. The violence in Aleppo has deepened one of the country's main fault lines. President Ahmad Ashab has promised to unify the country under one leadership. To 14 years of war has faced resistance from Kurdish forces, wary of his Islamist-led government. With negotiations stalled, fighting erupted in Aleppo on Tuesday, leaving a number of civilians dead and forcing more than 140,000 to flee. The US and other world powers welcomed the ceasefire earlier in the week, but Kurdish forces refused to leave their last stronghold under the deal. Syria's army said it would conduct a ground operation to clear them and comb through the neighborhood on Saturday. Kurdish forces still hold large parts of Syria's northeast, where they run a semi-autonomous zone. They have resisted efforts to integrate into Syria's new government, made up of former rebel fighters who ousted longtime leader Bashar al-Assad in December 2024.
Gak ada terbang.